go live with Janae. You want to go live? No, I'm just kidding. Don't get nervous. People, you know what's so funny when you ask people to go live with you and they're not ready? That makes you so nervous. Someone did it to me one time. I was like, oh no, girl, I got a scarf on and stuff. I can't lie. Can't do that right now. So let's see if he's able to join us.
She's so funny. Oh, I
wish you could see the little emojis that my friend made when I talked about her coming on live. That was funny. Hey, Tom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're stuck, man. You're like rotating, but we can hear you. We can hear you, but you're
Hold on.
just like rotating.
I don't know what's going on, B. I can't even see me.
You can't
It's
see.
black.
I can see your head looking towards the TV. Y'all hear Word Party in the background?
Fade to black.
Is she still up?
Yeah, she over here watching Word Party laughing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, wait. She got the glassy eyes though, so.
She's sleepy.
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody. This is my husband, Mr. Tony A. Latimer. You want to say hi to everybody?
The second.
Just see your profile and a thing just wrote. Can you guys see his face? Because I can see his face, but it's just like rotating.
Want me leave and come back?
You can try.
Okay.
You can try. All right, we're gonna try it one more time.
All right.
But we can hear you. All right, I'm gonna try it again, y'all. Hello. He was blurry. Oh, you could actually see him moving. Girl can see him moving around. Like all I saw was like this, and then like the little circles. We are really chilling tonight. Clearly, like the last 2 days I came like teacher mode, and right now I'm just like, hey, it's the last day. You know how it is when you're in school, and it's the last day of school, and everyone's like super chilled, and the teachers are like, hey, do what you want to do. It's field day or whatever. That's how I kind of feel right now, where it's just kind of not as formal and structured, but still fun. So we're kind of just hanging out together. So see if I can get him to get in here real quick.
That's what I was waiting for.
For the new people who joined us,
My head big. Okay, I'm gonna move this back some. I feel like my head is all massive.
He didn't want to listen to me, y'all. I told him to come the lights.
There we go.
Direction, but anyways, if you guys have any questions for us, for anyone new, can you please let me know if you have any questions and anything that you've gotten from the live the last 2 days. I got my husband on because he's really awesome with answering questions. A lot of the digging through heart clutter he has personally helped me with before we got married and before we were even dating. That's a whole other story for another time. It's a whole other story, but it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. But he's great. He's actually a minister. So, yeah. And some of the things
Gotta do that work.
So, I'm just going to say, he does say some crazy things sometimes, but it's
Oh, yeah.
And he can be real deep. He can get real deep real fast. Just FYI. So I don't know how tonight's going to go, but.
I'm a little hood, so I'm going to try to keep it up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean.
Tone. Please.
Hey. No, I mean it's real. Like she was saying, I love whole getting to the heart of the matter series just because the heart is so vital. Like, and we don't recognize how many decisions and how many things we actually do out of our heart, because we've been taught to be so logical, so we think everything comes from up here, but it don't. A lot of things come from here. And actually a lot of y'all, women meaning, y'all get a lot of flack, say, oh, y'all too emotional. But truth is, dudes is emotional too. They just try to hide it behind their brain and try to act like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'm just trying to make a logical decision, when truthfully they be moved by their emotions, just like anybody else, because in your emotions in your heart, that's the actual seat of your person. That's where all the decisions are filtered through. Legacy wants to make a cameo, apparently.
Hey, Chacha. Hi. Hi. Hey, girl. So, guys.
Oh, I don't have a man's group. That's a great question. I was talking to Christiana about doing some relationship stuff. We're gonna call it the couch, and we're gonna.
And they'll call it Sharpening the Masculine Soul. So his
Diablo
book,
book.
and his discipleship for years. Hi, Legacy. Hey, but
Can you hear her saying hi?
yes, we can all hear her say hi.
As soon as I started talking, she was like, "Who are you talking to?" But no, because your heart is so pivotal. Like God says, He required truth on the inward part. He wants your heart. He wants the entrails. Like I was talking to my wife one day about entrails, which is good. It's funny. They call your guts entrails. You know what I mean? And God gave me a word about your entrails. That's the trails that you walk on the inside of you.
Yes.
Now everybody can't see that. It's veiled by the flesh, right? Like, some of y'all got the rest in me face. I prayed it for my daughter. I love it. I think it's a great deterrent. And and that's a good thing. But it's the pathways that you have on the inside that you know very intimately, and that maybe a few close people around you know intimately. But for real, those are the secret parts. And it's those secret parts that God desires. He loves that part of you because it's the truest part of you. It's the rawest form of you. You don't have to put on the makeup. You ain't got to, get it slain or beat or whatever y'all be saying these days in order to move with God. He loves you in the raw nakedness. And that's true. And so when you find people who's able to get into your entrails, there's two types of people who's going to try to get into your entrails. One is going to be people who's going to love and protect the trails that have been blazed on the inside of you. The other type of people are going to be people who try to sabotage and destroy the trails that you've built up so that you have no remembrance of the word and of the experiences that God had for you. You understand what I mean?
And someone for me, because I would be right now, and so I hit them for me, like yes to all of that. Hey, baby.
And so getting to the heart of the matter is imperative. The world around us is riddled with distraction. And those distractions, I mean, even if it's good distraction, like, I can spend all day with my daughter. That's a very good distraction. I can spend all day loving on my wife, spend all day just hanging out with the three of us. But at some time, I have to steal away. I gotta steal away to be alone with God. Because throughout the week, I always talk about myself as a tall glass of marbles. Like, you always see those, like, at staging events and all of those. And throughout the week, all my marbles get smashed around get tossed around onto the ground. You know how people say I lost my marbles? So yeah, that's where I go with that. Like, I feel like I lost my marbles. And if I don't collect up all my marbles, like the parable in the Bible where the woman lost that one coin and she was looking all over the house for it. If I have 100 marbles and I only have 99 in there, I'm not complete. I need all my marbles in my jar so that in the next event that I have to do or the next thing that I'm going for, I could be 100% for it. When we start to operate with losing 5 marbles here, 10 marbles here, no problem, it's only 5 marbles, and we don't recharge, we recognize at the end of the week or when we go into the next thing, man, I feel drained, I feel fatigued, I feel tired, I feel heavy laden. Yeah, well, that's because you only got 10 marbles in your jar. When you're the owner of 100.
That's good.
You know what I mean? So, like, this is real. I'm glad she did this. I was like, yeah, get up there and do your stuff for your girls, or for your women. I'm sorry, y'all women. Y'all not girls. I know y'all women. You know what I'm saying? Y'all good. Y'all Y'all good. And so I'm not going to belittle that because women are very powerful beings, and I believe you're very important beings too. Like, we couldn't do this. Like, men couldn't do what we do without you. Even when we do the dumb stuff we do, we still looking for y'all for the endorsement. So when I talking to couples, I say, listen, stop egging this Negro on. I was about to say another word that's similar to that.
Come on now.
But stop egging them on. You know what I mean? Like, actually hold him to the masculinity that's in him.
Come on.
Because when you hold him to that masculinity that's in him, then he will respond in kind. And that masculinity will be the energy that would be what you're actually looking for out of him. You know what I mean? Now, he gonna push, he gonna scream and cry about it, but he's gonna actually fall in love with his own becoming. And as he falls in love with his own becoming, he makes it easier for you to become in his presence. He won't be intimidated by you. He will endorse you. He will support everything you do. If it's good and if it ain't, he'll correct you and be like, "No, man, you know that's some BS. You come on now. You know that ain't right." And both are good to have both the rod and a comforter, like the rod and the staff. The staff to lead, the rod to correct. And it's good to go both ways. And as the foundation of a house, people like to talk about men being the covering. I feel like women cover, men uphold. And so I like to look at us as basements and not roofs. Roofs is cool, but basements is what hold the house up. And the Bible talks about how Jesus is the chief cornerstone.
Yes.
He was a stumbling block of offense, and he was rejected by the builders. But the Bible says, unless you build a house with him, you build a house in vain. And so my job as a man and other men is to get down with Christ and lay at the foundation to make sure that whatever we're building together can be built to last, baby. You know what I mean? You can build it big and as fast and as grandiose as you want it to be. And when I mean it, I'm talking about hashtag relationship goals, hashtag me and my boo booed up, hashtag all of that. You know what I'm saying? We spend too much time trying to perpetrate for people. We fix up the front yard. We paint the house. We put window fixtures on it. We put that fake Formica countertops in there. But the truth is like, you want something that's solid. The aesthetics, the aesthetics will come. But if you seek the kingdom, if you seek the righteousness part of it, the hard part of it, and you can master it, if you can do algebra, you can do arithmetic. You know what I mean? But if you can do arithmetic, you might not necessarily be able to do algebra.
Good.
And so, I spilled a little bit. I mean, that's a lot of it. So if you have some questions about that, about getting to the heart of the matter, about the series that you guys have went through, or how it relates to men and how you can kind of get to the heart of the matter with your men, we all ears. I got some time. My daughter is in love with Word Party, so she chilling.
We don't support screen time like that. It's just in these moments. It does help.
Hey, screen time is clutch though. I ain't gonna lie, man, because, bruh, man, I be on that. I be like, man, I'm too old to be having no toddlers running around here, man. Like, we was talking about 3 at the beginning. I've been like, boo, we might really want to consider like 1. You know what I'm saying? 1 and done, get her done. You know what I mean? But any questions?
I know, yeah. Let us know, please. And Marie, would you have Instagram? I just want you to like come over here. You need to like see this. I wish you did. Are you still around? Elaborate on the ooh, that's a good one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh girl, what's your name, Miss Skylar? Absolutely. Like the makeup of masculinity. Okay, so like I'm gonna give you the idealized version, what the world says masculinity is, and then I'm gonna juxtapose that to what true masculine, like biblical masculinity is, because we oftentimes see what the world say it is, and we gravitate towards that, but then you get it and you feel and you realize it's pyrite, it's fool's gold. Like, it ain't really all what it's cracked up to be. And so we experience a lot of machoism in that. And you've heard a lot of people come out like Terry Crews and stuff talking about toxic masculinity. That's the faux masculinity. That's the one that's based on bravado, based on pride, based on arrogance, based on boys will be boys. That whole mess. There's no such thing. Like, it's not true. And so men who are denying true masculinity, legacy, get off, get down. Sorry. Father intervention real quick.
Emotions.
I had to do an intervention. Sorry. But biblical masculinity is one of leadership, servant leadership. What I mean by servant leadership, that's the first one, servant leadership. Servant leadership is a leader who's willing to demonstrate to you what needs to be done by first doing it. It's also characterized by sacrifice. I know there's passages in the Bible that say obedience is greater than sacrifice. But a man who is masculine, he will sacrifice for you. I was diagnosed with sickle cell disease. I was almost dead 2 years ago. That's a whole nother story and testimony in and of itself. But one hard thing has been for me was to just work a consistent 9-to-5 job. With the weather changes here in Columbus, Ohio, it could be pretty wild in the wintertime. And I'm sorry, my daughter is hitting me. She's like moving a lot.
I'm get the baby. Tell her to come to me.
Legacy, go see mama.
Come here, Chunk.
Go see mama.
I'm gonna go get the baby.
But how do you get to a man who don't want to talk? That's a good question too. I'm gonna get to that one as well. But
I lost my train of thought.
dang, my daughter distracted me. I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the masculinity. Yeah, the masculinity.
30 seconds.
The toxic, I'm sorry, I'm past the toxic part. It's the servant. It's sacrifice. That's where I was at. Sacrifice.
There we go.
Yeah, he'll be willing to sacrifice for you. I was like I said, I was almost dead 2 years ago. The sickle cell disease with the climate and everything, it just was rough on my body. But I was still willing to go work a whole job for a year, 9-to-5, regardless of what it's going to do to my body or whatever could come from it, because I have a wife and a daughter to provide for, flat out. Like, and if I was in the world, I would have put an expletive right there in the middle, flat the F out, like, for real. Like, and so because of that, like, I think it's very important that that's servant leadership is one, but sacrifice is two. Another one is honor. That he's honorable. Like, as he serves you, he doesn't do it, like, with spite in his heart. You know, some people just do stuff just to spite you. Like, they'll be like, but then I just clean your car, though. Like, you're supposed to clean the car. Like, but then not pay the bills. You're supposed to pay the bills, B. Like, you ain't doing nothing special. You don't get no claps on no, this ain't 5th grade graduation. Like, that's grown man stuff. That's what you're supposed to do. So, like, I think those are three, the top three. The fourth one is, and I say it's the fourth, I like foundations. So it's the most important one, is vulnerability. Like, intimacy is important. And when the Bible talks about how the women are the weaker vessel and all of that, I don't think it's talking about physical strength. The Bible calls women to be helpmeets. Like, so if put it like this, if I'm moving a furniture and I'm asking for help, would I solicit help from a toddler, 2-year-old, 5-year-old, somebody who's weaker than me? No, I wouldn't. I would get somebody of equal strength or greater strength to help me move something that I can't alone move. And so I'm thinking that means instead of physical strength, I'm thinking it's more along the lines of role. A woman has the ability or has the position in the kingdom to be a sole receptor. You're a woman, you bear children. If you wanted to do that, no one can knock you for that at all. Like, that's your right, you can have it. Men, however, have to learn how to be both a giver, like a person who can impregnate, and a person who can also give birth. because God will give you visions. He'll give you dreams. He'll give you business ideas. He'll give you all kind of stuff. And it's your responsibility as a man to be able to carry that through labor. So a man has to know the intimate entrails of femininity as it pertains to vulnerability and reproduction, spiritually, I'm talking. And also be able to provide, care, give, conquer, divide, all of the stuff that men like to rah-rah around. We have to do that automatically. Like, ain't nobody about to go kill a buffalo with a spear. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't even put my wife in that situation. Like, I have to do that. But I also have to be tender to my daughter, love on my wife, be gentle towards them, kind, caring, compassionate. And all of those things are the composition of masculinity. I'm hoping I answered your question, Miss Skylar. It's a lengthy one, so I'll stop there and we can.
I think I'm wordy.
We can dive into that later. But the second question here is, how do you get through to a man who doesn't want to talk? So talking is talking requires EQ. Are you familiar with EQ? Who asked the question? I can't see your name. I can't scroll either. Oh, there we go. Hold on, I can scroll. Here we go. I am Cher Thomas.
No.
You know EQ? Well, EQ is, yes, cool, great. Well, EQ is emotional quotient for those who don't know. It's the ability to map and introvert. Pretty much is to introspect on the emotion and also be able to empathize, sympathize with other people and be compassionate towards their angst or what have you. And so what happens is most men, for fear of from being too sensitive, that's part of this toxic masculinity. For fear of being too sensitive, they avoid the EQ unless it's aggression, anger, frustration, the things that are kind of accepted amongst the manhood. The problem with a person who's not talking is because trust me, he's talking a whole lot. He's just not expressing it verbally to you. You know what I mean? He's in his head. He's having conversation all day long. He's not a mute. The problem is that some of the stuff that he's having frustration with, he don't want to share it with you. Some of the stuff he don't want to bother you with it, and then some of the stuff he just might be intimidated about the vulnerability that comes with that form of expression. Once I open up my mouth to you, women are garden beds. Once I plant seeds, you're gonna give me a big flower. Once we consummate our marriage, I'll put a seed in there, and 9 months later, a big baby, fully functional human being will come out. So sometimes we know if I say the wrong things, or if I haven't fully thought out what I want to say, and I don't deliver it correctly, it can set off all types of internal alarms with you, and that can create a whole ball of something that we don't want to get into. So what happens is men will think, well, how can I say this? How can I say that? How can I do this, do this? And after a while, if he don't come to any conclusions, he just won't say anything. But what'll happen is, as that compounds upon each other, like year after year or month after month, it'll become the norm for him. His normal mode of operandi is just like working out. If I keep lifting weights, if I keep doing push-ups, it'll be easier and easier to do push-ups. But when I stop, get up in them double cheeseburgers, them Big Macs, you know what I'm saying? The atmosphere of trust, that he can be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what the context of your relationship is. I'm not going to peer into your life spiritually because that's just not cool unless you have permission to do. And so I think just the small wins. It's a small and it's a steady grind. You can go and ask some of them same questions. What's the biggest pain point in your life? He might be like, I don't know. I'm like, it's okay if you have pain points. Like, we all have pain points. Some of mine are these. Boom, boom, boom. And this is how you can help me. Boom, boom, boom. So, like that, men have a hard time sometimes expressing themselves verbally to their wives or women because they don't want to, they're not secure about what they desire to deliver in that moment, in that time, and in that space with them. They, like I said, they might have not even thought out the whole line of thinking or what they're going through enough. Or it could be past trauma is linked to some deep past trauma that he ain't really trying to touch on right now. And he knows if he talk about this one thing, it's going to lead down a bunny trail to some stuff that he don't want to touch. You understand what I mean?
Cause good tone, I can hear you. Who's feeling the baby?
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, so some of that is Malachi jumped in the spot. What's up, bro? That's my good friend, brother.
Malachi, hey Malachi.
Yeah, he jumped in the spot. What's happening, dog? But no, like I think you all have some great questions. I think getting to the heart of the matter is absolutely essential. Like I said before, and once you're able to be, I think also you can help your guy. But yeah, I'm about to just get to a solution. I was about to get to a solution. I think you can help, and so helping is like a lot like. I'm trying to think of a good one. This game. The conversation particularly is a game of chess. It's definitely not like a checkers game where it's like jump me, get my king, I'm about to jump everything on the board and just rob the dude blind because he is already vulnerable about it, most likely. That's why he's not communicating. It's not that he don't want to, it's that he don't know how to. And so I think sometimes it's just small conversations that leads to bigger things. And when he say stuff that's scary to you, don't respond. Like, don't do a typical response like, oh my gosh. Because then that'll like make him recess. He'll be like, see, I shouldn't have said nothing. Because if I wouldn't have said nothing, then you wouldn't be acting the way you acting. So I think small step conversations, very, very controlled emotional responses from you will help create an atmosphere of trust that he can be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure what the context of your relationship is. I'm not going to peer into your life spiritually because that's just not cool unless you have permission to do. And so I think just the small wins. It's a small and it's a steady grind. It's a long-term grind because it's the contents of somebody's soul. You know what I mean? Like you want him to say something, but sometimes the stuff he's going to say will scare the living lights out of you. And so he don't say it for your sake. But if you want him to say it, like my wife would just, it was maybe a 2 or 3 year grind of constantly reminding me, no, I want you to share with me. I don't care how ugly it is or how disastrous it could be. I would rather you share with me and I be in a no than not. And I'm left in the dark and you're making decisions. And then we all have to bear the brunt of those consequences, good or bad. And some of the stuff that came out of my mouth or came out of my soul was foul. You know what I mean? Because I had some, we're all humans. I had toxicity as well. And so I had to deal with all the gunk. And until like men in general are not prone to, and I'm speaking generalities. It's not for every single man exclusively, but men in general are not prone to like counseling. We're not going to be like, oh yeah, I need to go see somebody, man. I need to go sit on somebody's couch, man, and just spill my heart out. People like, bro, that's gay. Like for real. Like that's the way we feel about it. Like, man, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm good. I don't need no help. I'm straight. But the truth is what happened is we endure war with one another, and we'll say, yeah, I'm good to flex for our friends, but we got a flesh wound. And what could easily be healed right there, it goes on and on and on for months. It becomes gangrene, and then you have to amputate. You know what I'm saying? And so spiritual gangrene looks like I'm losing a lot of ground here, but I don't want to tell you because I don't want you to be afraid of me or leave me, or I'm vulnerable in this area. I'm very tender. I don't really want nobody touching it, including myself, let alone you. Because if you see it, it's going to come with all these questions like, well, why you ain't tell me 5 months ago? And
questions. We ask a lot of questions.
And yeah, like all the questions, and it's just like information overload. I already don't really want to deal with this, and the extra questions is just beyond me. So please just cut the noise. Like, and it feels rude, but it's like, I just need some time to breathe. And if it's more like, baby, towel, get some water. This is how you breathe. Let me help you breathe. What's bothering you right now? How can I help you right here or right now in this phase? What's the most, like, it's just like any other thing. Like, you do a job, you can go and ask some of them same questions. What's the biggest pain point in your life? He might be like, I don't know. And I'm like, it's okay if you have pain points. Like, we all have pain points. Some of mine are these. Boom, boom, boom. And this is how you can help me. Boom, boom, boom. Like, here's what you do. If you can, think about a pain point for me, babe. And maybe in a week, can you, like, get back to me on one? If not, I'll check back with you, and then I can see where I can help you out with it. That sound like a deal? He might be like, all right, cool, I'll go with that. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're giving him control and you're empowering him as a man instead of subconsciously demasculating him because he's afraid to deal with the demons that lurk in his closets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're empowering him to go and get them, and you're like, yo, I got your 6. I'm ride or die. What's up? I got the banana clip on deck. Like, we ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, what that lady said, she ready? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ready? Like, I'm ready. We can do this. And so it's one of those things where it's like, and it's hard too. Now, don't get me wrong. It's very, very hard because the whole time you're like, man, I just want him to open up. Man, I just want him to be closer. Man, I just want this. I just want that. But it's a slow and tender step. It's just like with your relationship with Jesus. Like, I'm not sure where you were, but when I first started, I was a stone cold stripper. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't mean literally. I mean spiritually. Like, I was a vagabond. I was loose. I was doing whatever I wanted with whatever I wanted spiritually. I just was out here. I wasn't raised in the church or anything like that. And so when I came to faith, it was a slow and steady courtship. Now I know he's a lover of my soul. I would never depart from the ways and from the love that he's shown. But he was also gentle. It's been 16 years. You feel what I'm saying? And most of us, because we live in the generation we live in, we want everything right now. We be like, yo, pop that. If any of y'all pop macaroni and cheese in the microwave, we're gonna have words. But pop that macaroni and cheese in the microwave and let's get it cracking. Let me get some ramen noodles and let's get this thing cracking. Everybody wants a Thanksgiving dinner, but nobody wants the Thanksgiving the prep time. Prep time might be 5 hours or the whole night before. Everybody want that pie, but don't nobody want to wait 2 hours for it. So they go around the corner to the corner store and get a little Debbie. You feel what I'm saying? And so it's just like, but when it comes to souls, we can't microwave the process. We want to be like, okay, let me just get to the chase. But this is one place where it's just like, no, we need that slow and steady. Men need the slow and steady because our souls are very, very complex, just like yours. And we need time to process our own entrails because a lot of times they're paths that's been overgrown with all kinds of cares of life. So I don't even know I forgot that this path was even here. So I need to go back through too and really sort out what's in my trails on the inside. And before I introduce you to the snakes, I don't want you jumping like, oh, snake. I want to go in there and kind of monitor and survey the land and make sure ain't nothing in there that's going to freak you out or freak me out that you found out. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's good. I hope that was helpful. That was good. He's speaking the truth. We walk this out for sure because I'm always the type like, just say something. Tell me. And I used to ask 1,001 questions or just want to understand. I just want to understand. And I mean,
and it's fair too. And it's fair too. No, it's fair too, though. It's fair because if we're living in the same relationship in the same house, like it's very hard to be living with a stranger, or that's how it feels. Mm-hmm. And so we have to work at it too from both angles. And at the beginning, it was a lot for me. I realized, even though I introspect a lot and I was very self-aware, I wasn't very good at articulating where I was to my wife. And so she would ask me a question, and I found myself saying, yo, give me a moment on that. Now, that's the one thing I will do that I think a lot of men are afraid to do, is admit that, you know what, I don't know right now. I don't know right now where I am right now. I need to figure it out for myself. Like, and once I figure it out, I promise you we can have this conversation, but right now we can't have it. You know what I mean? And it's up for us, it's up for you to give the man the latitude to be like, you know what? Your soul is your business. Like, I want to be a part of it, but truthfully, I can only be a part by invitation only. I need the RSVP for this space, and you need to accept the invitation. Like, and so, okay, if you need some space about it, I want to give you some space, but I definitely want to get with you about it because I care. Not because I want to be all in your business, but yo, you mean a lot to me in a very real way. More than whatever we be doing, hanging out together, all of that. Like, this means more to me than that. And it tests the moral fiber. It tests the bedrock of everybody, the continuity of everybody's soul. Like, in the process, I'm sure I've jabbed my wife with my soul millions of times. Like, and that's why I'm just like, boo, you got anything I got, you got. You know, but we had to work into that place because my wife she's naturally inquisitive. As I would say most, like I said, generalities, most women are. You just want to know. And some things is good to know, some things ain't so good to know. And the Bible gives space for that. Dwell with your women according to knowledge. And so you have to learn how to touch and go on the gas. Now, men will hide behind that scripture and say, I'm just dwelling. Like, nah, bruh. Like, you gotta share where you are because you're the leader. And in order to follow somebody, you gotta know where they at.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
So yeah, we got some work to do. Collectively, as a people group, as couples, as men, as women, we all got work to do. And so we have to give people space to be like, you know what, you got work to do. You own that, and I'm gonna support you in the work on you. And then you be like, you know what, I respect that, B. I'm gonna support that on the work on you. And that's how we kind of work it out. So.
That's why we're doing IG live right now. Get into the heart of the matter. This is him reaching the fact that that's why he keeps baby for me when I was coming live, because I have a heart to share with women. Like, this is just my thing. I love to do this. And so helping me in that is keeping my rugrat out the way so that I can do what I know God's created me to do. And then in the same breath, I know that my husband has a gift in relationships, dealing with women, dealing with men. I know that. And so, of course, if I have a platform that I want to pour into people's lives, then by all means, I need to give him a space to be able to share his heart or his wisdom or his knowledge with people who desire to know anything. So this is us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, my wife and I have always been talking about doing this. This is just kind of my first live. I'm generally not a live person. I will go hard as heck on Facebook. Like, I will write you a 20-page letter on Facebook. But because I'm old school. Facebook came around when I was in college. Like, I've been removed from college for over 10 years. I'm an old dude. I got some grays up here.
Oh, he's old.
And so, but this whole IG thing, I like it because it gives us latitude to really have some good discussions. And this is what it's about. Like, I'm about upbuilding the kingdom and all God's people. But if I could be 100 with y'all, I love my women and I love my men. Like, I love my brothers and I love my sisters. Like, and I'm just like, no. We ain't doing it like that. Like, if you love God, then I can hold you to it. If you don't love God, then I'm kind of like, hey, the world gonna do what the world gonna do. But if you say God is in you, God is for you, you roll with the Holy Ghost, then it's like, oh yeah, then I'm responsible for you to some degree. Now you got your pastors, you got your oh yeah, romantic. That's funny. So
this man is practical. I just want y'all to know.
Okay, so romance is funny. Me and my wife had this conversation because cats. Okay, so women expect, because y'all when y'all grew up, y'all was reading all them 17 magazines, 10 ways to satisfy your man and all of this stuff. Y'all was reading all of them articles and stuff, and and from the media, it's just like all men is like crazy sex bags and lust bags. You feel what I'm saying? I'm saying like, no, I'm just being raw. I'm just being honest. Okay, I'll tone it down. But like all men are like, we have this idea that like men are just full of arrows, like, and we just like, and we're just like, I'm Fabio, and I got like my chest hair sticking out, my hair all slicked back, and I'm just gonna come to you with a rose in my mouth and be like, ha, like, and there might be some space for that. Like in real life, just making light of a real question, there's some space for that. But we also, just like men, I'm gonna use this example because it's real. Like, men put a lot on women because we've been plagued since our teenage years and with porn, right? And so we put a lot of fake stuff on y'all, like what you supposed to be doing or how you supposed to act or what you supposed to look like. It's not realistic and it's not fair to you and you're becoming. And so like, as it pertains to romance, I believe everybody has a gauge, and then that gauge can be it increased or diminished depending on how much life stressors that man has. And so like, if his life is real stressful, and it could be untold stress. Like if you're not communicating, it could be stuff like I said from his past life before he got with you, and he was like, man, it's just stressful. My family is stressful. My brothers and sisters stressful. My mom, my dad, I don't know him. He's stressful. Like, or I have a completely straight-laced family. I grew up in the burbs, but the pressure they put on me to be a banker or a doctor or a lawyer, engineer is just stressful, man. I ain't trying to do none of that. I like to rap. You feel what I'm saying? Like all of those stressors, it kind of diminish. It kind of detract from attention to you. Romance means when I hear I want my husband to be more romantic, what I'm saying is I want my husband to pay more attention to me. There's this song that came out. My wife used to always sing it. It used to drive me crazy. you know the little girl. She'd be like, "Focus on me, won't you focus on me? You all in your Facebook, won't you focus on me? Won't you all in your Twitter, won't you focus on me?" Right? And it used to piss me off because she was singing all the time. But then I start to realize, like, bro, wait a minute. Maybe it's just not enough attention because you're distracted about this money thing you got going or what you got going on with your health or this or that. And all of those things kind of detract from the focus. You know what I'm saying? The focus is so important. But when we live in a society where we've glorified multitasking, everybody like, oh, I'm a great multitasker. No, you ain't. That just means you're dividing. The Bible says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You have no focus. And when you don't have no focus, you can't be deep. And romance is deep. You feel what I'm saying? It's not a surface level thing. It's not, damn, I'm about to pop up with a box of flowers or with a box of roses and some chocolates. You do that once or twice, it's cool. You do that every time, you're like, bruh, you can't get no different cards. You always hanging out in the mahogany owl. Like, you ain't got no creativity, none. We can't like pop up at a something crazy, like go ice skating or like, and he was like, bro, I ain't never even thought about ice skating. Yeah, that's because his mind is inundated with stuff. And so that's why I'm always contemplating, man, focus on your becoming. Because when you're able to focus on your becoming and who God made you to be, stop trying to fit in with all these other people saying, oh, this is what a man should be. This is what I should be doing in my career at this point. By the time I'm 30, I'm going to have $1 million. By the time I'm going to be living in a fat crib, I'm going to have a Porsche. Like, stop, man. Like, relieve yourself from all the stress. And when you're able to relieve yourself from all the stress, you become a better lover. Overall, I'm talking about categorically. And my wife can testify, I've gotten better as I'm going along. Some people just finicky like me. I was that kid that to this day, like, my mom used to smack me in the mouth because I didn't want to eat after her when I was a kid, when I was like Legacy's age. I didn't want to eat off the same spoon. I wanted my own spoon. I didn't want to be hugged on, kissed on, none of that. I just was kind of like that. And so as I grew up, it kind of stuck with me. So I'm kind of like, on the whole, I'm kind of like, you know what I'm saying? But because I know it's important to my wife, like I said, men will sacrifice. It's become a pleasurable sacrifice to me. At first, it wasn't so much, being transparent. Like, it was just like, I'm doing this because my wife want me to. And I have to do it with a smile so I can fake it in front of her so she don't be like, oh, you don't really want to do this, so don't even do it at all. Right?
I knew the truth anyway, but that's all
so
good. I understood that crying, and so I supported.
Yeah, and so it's just like, and just she worked with me too.
I did. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt, but just let you know we gotta wrap up soon because my battery's about to die, and then that'll shut us off, and we won't even be able to say bye. I got maybe 3 or 4 minutes left. Just when to go.
Okay.
And I wanted to speak on the romantic piece too, though, because sometimes though you do have to honor the person that you're with, because some people are acts of service people, so.
Yeah.
The way they show love, even though it may not be romantic, the way they show love is in a service-oriented way. So understanding each other's languages is very helpful. And then working with that person through that, because trust me, we've been together 7 years, and that's Tony's he likes to do the big things, but the small detail stuff, that's not, I'm just being honest.
Oh, man, over my head, man, that's not my strong point.
Sometimes I be looking like,
I'll be like, my bad, babe. My bad. I'm human. Charges to the head, not the heart, baby. I love you.
He loves Jesus. And that always keeps me. I'm he knows the Lord for real. I know that he supports me in all my endeavors. I ask God to make sure I know his heart and who he is. And you can kind of get over some of that other stuff. Not saying it can't get better, but
I think the love languages is good though, because sometimes what we tend to do is love people the way we like to be loved. Instead of loving them the way that they want to receive love. And so if we can learn if you just tell him flat out, men, we're not okay, so we're very smart, but we're not going to be you need to tell me what you want. And it's okay. It's okay to be hey, baby, can you love me like this? And he gonna be like, what? I know what I'm doing, yada yada. But then he was to think about it, oh snap, thanks. She just, that's what's up. Because I was out here not really knowing what to do with her or for her. So it's okay to be yo, I like roses. Will you buy me some roses? And after you say that once or twice, he might be okay, she like roses.
For my birthday, I want you to set something. I don't know what you set up. But I want you to come up with something.
Yep, I want you to come up with something for me. Yeah. And he's going to be okay.
Don't be bashing it. Just accept it, because you're I just come up, give some time. Just give a little time, and sometimes we got to drop the attitude with it, because sometimes we say stuff, but the attitude that comes.
Yeah, because we want you to y'all want us to want to do something, and it's just well, I want to do something, well, I don't know what to do. You want me to kind of everybody want that genie boyfriend or genie husband that just know your mind, oh, I know what she wants, and I just pop up Papa. You be oh, that's exactly what I wanted. But the truth is, man, we don't really be knowing. We don't know. So sometimes I ask my wife, hey, so it's your birthday coming up. What would you like to do? But I've learned to do that too. So it wasn't just instinctive. She trained me to love her, and I trained her to love me. And now we stuck together because I can't deal with nobody's level of crazy but her.
But I am so glad that you guys joined us. As you can see, I have a nurse baby, so she's really acting like she's a nurse baby right now. And it's getting late, and our phones are going dead. But I love everybody so much. Thank you so much for joining me through this Getting to the Heart of the Matter mini series. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. Please make sure that you let me know what you learned over the last 3 sessions. So send me a message, a testimony, or something about just what you learned over the last 3 days. I'm going to read them all, of course, and I actually want to send out some gifts, because y'all know I'm in the beauty industry and I make beauty products. We didn't even talk about that because this wasn't about that. But I want to send you guys out some gifts just for hanging out with me for the last 3 days. So if you send your testimonies in, you will get a gift from me. And more resources to come. And oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, but we love
Here
y'all
I come.
so much. And may God bless and rest on all of y'all. So have a good night.
Can I pray for you?
Huh?
Can I pray for you? Can I pray for you real quick?
Pray for me or pray for everybody?
Yeah, pray for you and for everybody. Just your group. Can I do that real quick? 30 seconds.
You can close out in prayer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for having me on here, Chris. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've done. Love you guys. Just a quick word of prayer for my wife. Thank you, Lord Jesus, for Christiana. and her work, Lord. I pray for these women and their souls. I pray that the content of her soul will be enriched evermore from everlasting to everlasting. I pray that as Christiana grows in stature, grows in grace before you and before these women, that she's able to continue to contribute all the more into their lives. I pray that these women will also, that amongst these women, there will be some women who will be pierced in the heart about this and take their soul work to light, take it to heart. And as they take their heart work seriously, that they will begin to build a ministry around the impact that was made from calls like this. I pray, Heavenly Father, that your spirit will rest on Christiana, will rest on